Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Wednesday, March 25th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. Once again, the marine layer has deepened enough to allow for low clouds to spread across the coastal plains south of Point Conception this morning. Some low clouds have also managed to roll up the coastline to San Luis Obispo, but not nearly to the extent down south. This deepening is all thanks to a weak area of low pressure offshore that is expected to move over Southern California later today. With a strong inversion in place above the marine layer due to high pressure and control, clearing will likely be quite slow near the coastline. The more inland areas should clear fairly quickly with daytime heating, though. Otherwise, today will be another summer-like day with plenty of sunshine and hot temperatures. The overall weather pattern will continue to remain mostly persistent through the rest of this week into the weekend. Temperatures will remain 10 to 20 degrees above normal through Saturday, with highs across most of the lower terrain away from the beaches in the mid-80s to low 90s, except for around 100 in the low desert. The marine layer will provide nice relief for the coastal areas, with highs likely remaining in the 70s to near 80. Despite still feeling very summer-like for March, luckily it will not be quite as hot as what we saw last week, and we are not expecting to see any daily or monthly record highs. Once we get to Sunday, we will start to see a few degrees of cooling before a more dramatic pattern change comes in. Very little daily change is also expected in humidity through the weekend as we remain in a persistent high-pressure dominated weather pattern. Afternoon minimums will continue to largely range in the teens and 20s for most areas away from the coastline. The deserts and higher Southern California peaks will of course be drier, with minimums in the single digits. During the overnight hours, poor humidity recoveries will be common across the deserts and portions of the Southern California mountains. Humidity near the coastline will remain higher as light onshore flow will remain common. The marine layer will remain prevalent but shallow each day, with night through morning low clouds and fog mostly isolated to the coastal plains. With high pressure firmly anchored across the southwestern U.S. and no inside slider activity expected, winds will be light overall through the weekend, exhibiting typical diurnal and terrain-driven trends. Some localized breeziness is expected across the higher terrain and deserts at times. A major and much-needed pattern change is finally on the horizon as we move into next week. We will see the high pressure that has been dominating for weeks finally weaken and a troughing pattern return. A sharp cooling trend is expected for next week, with high temperatures finally returning to below seasonal averages. Humidity will also be on the rise with a deepening marine layer, and an increase in onshore flow is also expected with gusty westerly winds across the deserts and adjacent slopes. There is also the potential for a return of widespread light precipitation to the region by the middle of next week. That is still a week out and there's plenty of uncertainty in the forecast, so we can't get into details yet, though this is something to look forward to after we just got an early taste of summer. The trend of very warm and dry weather over the past several weeks has allowed for the significant drying of all classes of dead fuels to well below seasonal normals. 100-hour dead fuel moisture across many PSAs have dropped to record levels for this time of year and are approaching the 20th percentile or lower. More lowering is expected as we continue through this week. Despite the very dry dead fuels, the landscape continues to be dominated by live fuels, which are allowing large fire potential to remain very low overall. However, the warm and dry weather has led to rapid curing of lower elevation grasses. Since grasses are not fully cured out yet, and heavier brushes remain green and providing a barrier to fire spread, initial attack activity will likely continue to be limited to small grass fires this week. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Friday, March 27th. Have a fantastic day.